Hello everybody, Tyrone TG3 here, Monster, Hot Eye Zones, episodes 115, 116, 117, 118, and 119, coming in strong. We're reviewing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes this time around because they all take place in Blueberry Academy. Also, I've been gone for a very long time, so I'm trying to make it up for reviewing 5 weeks worth of content in one video. There it is, but I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. You're not gonna like this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Blueberry Academy sort of sucked. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was bad. I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of buns. It was buns, chat. Blueberry Academy was just not it. So I'm gonna go through all the episodes in rapid fire, and then I'm gonna just review the whole arc. Because, like, if we went back, Naranja Academy was when? It was Welcome to Naranja Academy in episode 46, and I think they finally left Naranja Academy in episode 67. So, yeah, first of all, way more episodes. Like, by a long shot, 21 more episodes. 21 more episodes, whereas Blueberry Academy was only like 5, and they weren't good. I know Blueberry Academy is supposed to be DLC, whereas Naranja Academy is literally just Scarlet and Violet, the game, right? But it wasn't good. It wasn't good. The 5 episodes weren't good. That was the problem. They're all bad. They're all bad. Like, each episode, I think the only episode I kind of liked was Hatterine's. That's it. Hatterine's episode was the only one that made me go, I like that. That was good. The rest of them were just buns, my dude. They were buns. It was pretty doo-doo, dog. So let's just get into it. So, because I want to provide constructive criticism about why they're bad, not just say they're bad. So the first episode is Terra Shine Blueberry Academy, and like I said, I'm gonna rapid fire through all of this, but just to get into my reasons. So with that being said, Terra Shine Blueberry Academy pretty much is them getting to Blueberry Academy. You see that Lacey's there with Plusle and Minun. You see that Anne's actually taking the Blueberry Academy, and I like that she does make a debut. I do like that. They even treat her as a part of the cast, of the main cast, where they have like Samurai and Sandslash doing stuff in the opening too, and like I like that they treat them like participants in what's going on. So I like that they're actively in it. Although there's one shot where all the Pokemon are gathered. Samurai's there, but Sandslash isn't, which is odd to me. But whatever, we'll pass by that. Anyway, we're seeing that Lacey is doing the combo with Plusle and Minun, where Plusle and Minun essentially do the Lightning Rod Discharge Plus combo, which is honestly not bad. I do like it. For some reason, I think they changed Plus and Minun's abilities. Plusle and Minun have the ability Plus and Minus respectfully, which makes sure that their attacks get stronger when they're paired up with a Pokemon that has either the ability Plus or Minus. They did this, I think, around the time Clink Clink came out with its hidden ability Plus or Minus, or I think, yeah, it was one of them. And when it got that ability, in triple battles, this means that Plusle and Minun would get stronger. But in order to like double up on that, they made it so if any of the Pokemon had Plus or Minus as their ability as well, because back then Minus only worked with Pokemon with Plus, Plus only worked with Pokemon with Minus. Here they decided to change it up. They decided to make it so Plus works with Pokemon with Plus and Minus, Minus works with Pokemon with Plus and Minus. Yeah, I know, it's very weird. So essentially, Minun gets a free power-up the minute it goes into the fight. Its attacks automatically do more damage. The discharge it uses powers up Plusle. Plusle's using the ability, while Minun has the Lightning Rod ability. The idea is simple. One of them uses discharge, the other Pokemon gains the discharge a power using Lightning Rod, powers itself up, uses its ability in order to make it stronger, thus making it more stronger. It's a good combo. It's actually pretty good for a double battle, and honestly, I'm impressed. But that's where all the praise ends. once Liko, Roy, and Dot get there, we see that the principal, I can't remember his name right now, and I'm not going to, he completely forgets that the kids made it there. He completely forgets that Briar is the one that brought him there. Briar completely forgets that she brought them there too. It's just a bunch of adults being negligent for like 10 minutes, and it's disturbing. And then Lacey is doing her like, that's no good. She's not really saying that, but she's like, like that's wrong, and that ain't right. Essentially, but yeah, that's pretty much what she's doing, is like that whole running gag gimmick of that. And the principal being like charmingly negligent is a funny joke, but I think they wear it to the ground like a lot. After that point, they agreed to meet up with Miss Briar the day after, even though she assigned them to show up that day. And it's because Briar is caught up in writing the book for Terapagos, or finishing up some research that she needs. Meanwhile, when they get there, they meet Lacey and Drayden. And I'm gonna be real, Lacey and Drayden are the only ones they wind up meeting. There's other Elite Four members that show up, but they literally say nothing. Like nothing. They don't say a single thing, and it's very disturbing that they don't, and I hate it. But then they take the time to pretty much train at the terrarium, because Lacey's essentially giving them the tour, and when they get the tour, Alt, Roy, Liko, and Dot essentially all go, and Anne, all go together and train at the terrarium, and the episode ends there. And that's what happens in the next episode immediately. The training begins, Terrarium Dome. They're training in the terrarium, and while they're doing so, we see that Roy ends up training against Drayden. And when they battle, Roy gets stomped, like hard. The combo is pretty simple. Kingdra comes out, and Kingdra provides the rain while, and I was just learning this because I don't use Archulodon at all. Archulodon's electroshock is much like thunder, where when the rain is out already, the move attacks immediately and gives Archulodon a special attack boost. Like it all happens in one turn. So it's much like, it's basically the solar beam rain equivalent. It's the rain equivalent of solar beam, which honestly, I think that's kind of cool. Because I already thought that there was an electric move that powers up with the rain, and it is. Technically, it's thunder. Thunder has 100% accuracy in the rain. But this is basically a solar beam that gives a stat boost, but can go automatically in the rain, which is cool. That means Archulodon and Pelipper are a really good team matchup, which I've seen in BGCs before, so now I know the reason why. Again, I don't use Electroshot a lot. I don't even use Archulodon. So yeah, another good combo. Sadly, that is where the praise ends. Roy doesn't have Lucario Mega Evolve at all in this fight. And I don't know why. Also, and I forgot, in the last episode, he fought Nimona. And the reason I don't really mention this, because Nimona is there, completely forgot she was there, because she shows up, battles Roy, and leaves. That is all she does. She shows up, battles Roy, beats him, leaves. Palmont and Decidueye are in this fight. And it turns out like Palmont and Decidueye wind up working together really well because they got this cool little combo that they got going for them. And Palmont loses its electricity typing because it uses the one move that sacrifices its electricity typing. I think it's like Super Sail Slam or something. Anyway, when it does that, it winds up terrestrializing into a fairy type. Once it does that, it completely dominates Roy. Roy loses. And this one, Roy loses again. So Roy's in a bit of a losing streak the moment he makes it to Blueberry Academy. I mean, he gets stomped hard. Crocolore and Lucario are getting beaten basically every fight that they're in. And Lucario, for reasons unknown, didn't Mega Evolve. And I stopped to check. Maybe they're trying to like test themselves and not Mega Evolve while they're at the Academy. No, they're not. They have the Mega Rings and everything. They could easily Mega Evolve. They're just making the weird decision to not Mega Evolve during Blueberry Academy. I guess because Blueberry Academy is supposed to advertise Scarlet and Violet, and terrestrialization is used in Scarlet and Violet, so they wanted to make sure that the Scarlet and Violet advertisement was being displayed, since we already got Legend ZA stuff literally an arc ago with the Mega Evolution arc with Roy, Alt, and their whole thing. So maybe that's it. I don't know why. It just looks really bad that Lucario did not Mega Evolve at all in that fight. Like, at all. Didn't even make an attempt to. Roy just sort of holds the L, and I'm like, okay, why did you do that? Anyway, once that happens, Nimona left the minute she won. Like, literally, she goes, hey, y'all, Roy, want to fight? Okay, I won. Peace out. Bye. I mean, okay, I guess that means Nimona gets a W and then leaves. And just like with Drayden gets a W and then he just sort of leaves. Before all of that, though, Drayden does take him through some training. What he essentially makes him do is do all the BB missions, the Blueberry missions, so that he can get his score up. It's kind of funny. He makes Roy do all of the chores so that he gets the reward for them, and he tricks him. And Lacey finds out and immediately calls him out on it, and it is funny. I'll give that part that it's funny. But after that, we essentially learn that Roy is too high-strung and he needs to chill out. And I'm just like, he learned that lesson in the Raha Academy. That's why they did the whole singing, like, hey, 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 hey. Like there was a whole thing about it. It's when he fought Rhyme. No? Okay. I don't know. He learned that lesson already. This just seems sort of dumb that they're making him do it again, but whatever, Pokemon Horizons. We move on to our next episode, episode 117 Pop Quiz. What does Ult's training involve? This episode is so bad. This is probably the anchor that holds down all of the other episodes in Blueberry Academy, and the reason why I do not like the Blueberry Academy arc. Oh, this episode is terrible. Oh, I will say one thing I also did like about 116. We did get the remix for the Elite Four theme. I was scared they weren't even going to put it in. They do. It's okay. It's alright. I feel like they definitely could have made it better, but it's alright. Anyway, 117. Alt is forcefully trained by Lacey because Lacey ends up quizzing Alt on Pokemon, and she's like, you don't know enough about Pokemon in order to effectively fight. And I'm just like, he doesn't. Because the lesson for him was, hey, you need to understand Pokemon better. And I'm like, bro, he learned that lesson in the Mega Evolution arc, like and that was a prequel. That was before he learned how to Mega Evolve. He did it with the whole Sableye thing. But this, I guess, is supposed to be like the biology of the Pokemon. Like he's not taking the time to understand, I guess, the Pokemon's like bodies. Like, he doesn't know that Pikachu has electricity coming from its cheeks. He doesn't learn about Exeggutor's neck. He basically doesn't know about the biology of the Pokemon, which I'm like, that's never stopped him from fights before. We have like tons of episodes, starting from like what, episode 90 all the way to now. He's been in the show for a bit, fighting without that knowledge, and he's been fine. He fought Steelix, he fought Slacking, several Pokemon up to this point, and only now, his lack of knowledge of Pokemon biology is what's slowing him down. Like, really? Really? Sure. We do get to the meat of this where he tackles the Dragonite issue. Dragonite won't come out of its Pokeball unless he wants to protect somebody. Until Lacey goes, no, you just gotta be more understanding. And then Dragonite decides to come out of its Dusk Ball. Neat. Anyway, we move on. And after all of that, I guess Alt has a better understanding of his Pokemon now, so yay. While this is happening, we have a plot B that I absolutely hate. Oh my god, the plot B to this is so bad. I was a quarter of a second away from just not including it in the review because I didn't want to talk about it. Plot B is Liko and Dot are with Carmen. Yes, Carmen is in this, and she's treated so terribly. In the Kid Takami arc, she was barely in it. She would keep challenging Free to a bunch of random games, and then finally they'd have a Pokemon battle. In this arc, Liko, Roy, Dot, and Ult don't even remember her from the Kid Takami arc. Literally, when she's like, hey, yo, what's up? I remember y'all. She's like, who are you? And they're like, I was at Kid Takami at the festival. And they're like, oh. Hey, like that's literally their entire exchange. It's so bad. And I'm like, Carmen is such a great character in the video games. And here she's an afterthought and it's so painful to watch. And her plot makes it worse. Plot B of this episode is Miss Breyer is apparently a baby adult child who is unable to take care of herself. So she needs her assistant to do literally everything. And you're probably thinking, well, assistants' job are to help the researchers. I will give you that. Yeah, help them with like maybe some backup reports or double checking grammar to make sure their report research is correct or giving them files when they need it. Miss Breyer can't pick up a freaking pen without the assistant helping her. Or she's got a, oh, you want coffee? You want your this? That, like, it's so stupid. And Liko's whole thing is she can understand Miss Breyer better than Carmen. So Carmen gets jealous. And I'm like, this is the plot? This is the plot? This is what we're choosing to land on? Oh my God, it's bad, really bad, real bad. Yeah, hate it. While Liko's helping Miss Breyer, Carmen decides to take her frustrations out, I guess, on Dot. They have a Pokemon battle, and essentially this Pokemon battle is the Metapod v Metapod type of battle that we see in the original series, where both of the Pokemon wind up using Astonish, and they both just keep scaring each other over and over and over. The battle has no conclusion. The episode doesn't even care about it because it immediately switches back the plot, and that's pretty much how we get our ending. Oh, we also see Roy in the episode, and he's like laying in the sand or some crap. He's doing it because he needs to relax more, and I guess that's his definition of relaxing. Yeah. Anyway, on episode 118, the best episode this whole Blueberry arc has, and it's the Hatterene episode. Long story short, in this one, Hatterene likes to push its own feelings aside for what other Pokemon want. Pretty on brand when it was a Hatenna, so it makes sense. Yeah. And when it does this, Anne has a close connection with it because Anne is a middle child, so she understands that like she does that type of thing as well. Liko and Anne are doing like a little Ditto hunting mission, which that's in Blueberry Academy, so it's on brand. So it's a nice little fun montage. But later we end up seeing that they're making sandwiches, and Hatterene wants Liko to help with the sandwiches. Like they want them to help with the sandwiches with each other because Hatterene can sense Liko's feelings, so she knows what type of sandwich she wants to make. While the other Pokemon have been fighting over attention this whole time. So while this is all happening, Hatterene is able to make the sandwiches perfectly. It looks very well, and Hatterene and Liko get along and have a very close bond and understanding, and that bond allows Hatterene to evolve into Hatterene. To which Anne says a very weird comment. It's a Pokemon evolution through happiness. And Anne goes, I didn't even know that was possible. And I'm like, excuse me? There's tons of Pokemon that evolve via happiness. That you study in a Pokemon school, how do you not know? Anyway, while this is taking place, one of the Dittos ends up going into a cave, but ends up getting harassed by a bunch of Tynamo, Electrikes, and Electrosses. Anyway, they all attack, and when they do, we see that Charcadet fends off the Tynamos. And then in order to fend off the Electros, Hatterene does this cool thing where she uses Psycho Cut on it and then heals it, only to use Psycho Cut on it so it can heal it again. So it can use Psycho Cut on it to heal it again. It's this weird level of like psychological warfare that it's doing on Electros to the point where Electros just runs away because it's like, bro, stop. I'm not... why do you keep doing this? It's like, it's one of those like weird levels of torture that Hatterene decided to do, this masochistic torture that Hatterene was on some demon time. Pretty funny, love it. With that being said, we see that he grows closer to all the Pokemon, and Liko and Hatterene have a very close bond. It's very straightforward what the plot is, and honestly, best episode out of the entire thing. If this whole Blueberry arc gets a score at all, no, it's this episode that's pulling most of the weight, like 80% of the weight. Because we move on to our next episode. Honestly, this episode's not that bad either, but I am going to say it's very basic. The last episode in this lineup is Hang in There, Crocalore, for the sake of tomorrow. In this one, basically they round out that Terapagos is holding its stellar form, and the stellar form owns the stellar Terra, which means that all 18 Pokemon types are considered when going into the stellar form, meaning that they have to gather several more Pokemon that have about the same strength as the hero's Pokemon. That way, Terapagos can use its full power to completely destroy all the Requiem. It's a big task, but that's essentially the conclusion they've had to come to. They're already at a 6 Pokemon head start, so that's good. They just need to gather 12 more Pokemon of respective types. I'm not sure if like some types overlap or not, but whatever. The point is they have 6 of them. They need 12 more, and they obviously need to get back the 6 that are already within the clutches of Team Xyz. So, with that being said, now that they know the plot, they are off. But before they leave, Drayton and Roy decide to have one more Pokemon battle so that Roy doesn't end on a losing streak, and it's to help with his training. It's weird, they actually had to convince Roy to do the fight. Roy was actually gonna just leave. So they had the fight. Fight's pretty good compared to the last one. The animation is way better, which is good because most of these Pokemon battles, I'm going to be honest with you, have been animated like buns. So it's good to see that they are actually putting their foot in on this one and making it better. But the moment of truth happened. Lucario still doesn't know. Lucario isn't in this fight. Kilowattrel is in this fight. And they're doing the thing that I like to call one Pokemon teams up with a flying Pokemon in a double battle in order to make a revolutionary plot development within the anime. This happens 3 times. Actually, more than 3 times. I think Ash had it with Pikachu and Swellow. Ash did this again with Frogadier and Talonflame. And then I believe Ash also did this with Corphish and Swellow. And yeah, it's just one of those. It's one of those fights. It's I'm using a Pokemon and the flying type Pokemon to do this double battle that's gonna make or break the entire plot. Anyway, it's a fun battle. Like, if you look at it through that perspective, yeah, they get beat up a lot, but it's good to see that Kilowattrel is actually putting in some work this time. And honestly, this is the biggest W I think Kilowattrel's ever gonna get in its life. But it does get knocked out, like, in the fight. So it's only Crocalore left, and Crocalore ends up locking in. And finally, after so long, oh my god, it finally evolves into Skeledirge! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, so long! Pokemon hated evolving Fuecoco. My god! Meowscarada was a Meowscarada by like, I want to say less than half this time, like half the time. Meanwhile, oh my god, Fuecoco went through it, my dude. Now all we need is Quaxwell. Now all we need is Quaxwell to evolve into Quabble, and the Trinity will finally be complete. God, it's such a long route. Oh, the only reason I don't give Quaxwell as much crap about it, Dot hasn't been in as many fights. But God, this thing fought heaven, hell, and all of the above to get to Skeledirge. Thank God. I don't care if Roy won this fight or lost it. Evolving into Skeledirge is the W we needed. Cause God, he was not, man, I was scared for a second. I was at a point where I believe Crocalore was gonna evolve back into Fuecoco. Yeah, I know Pokemon doesn't work like that, but the way they were moving, you never know. So we finally after oh so long, finally gets Skeledirge, and it locks in. It terrestrializes, and I actually like that the egg hatches when it evolves and turns into the bird. I do like that. That's a nice touch. Really nice touch. It winds up using its attack, Flamethrower, super powered by the way, in order to fight off against Electroshock. It's terrestrialized. It ends up beating our Chuladon, and it wins on that note. And we finally have our victor. And they also move off. They are officially done. They get to move on from Blueberry Academy and move forward. But before they do all of this, they learn a very important detail. Penny and Dot learn that they have to go undercover at the Exceeds company office because Dot was in contact with one of the workers there, which is Amathio's father. But they have to go undercover and go into disguise in order to gather the data from the area, because there's no way that they're going to get the data from him because there's too many eyes on it. So Dot and Penny have to go in undercover, which is where we'll get our next episode. And that episode is titled Dot and Penny Secret Mission. But Blueberry Academy, oh my God, I'm going to be real with you. They skimmed over it. I don't like that. It was a very one note situation with things. It was Roy and Ult's plots of training weren't good at all. It was mostly just, hey, you need to do the thing that you were kind of already doing, but you need to do it more. And then I'm just like, whatever. If you watch the prequel, the Mega Evolution thing, they learned how to do some of these things, which makes this retroactively look dumb. And I'm just like, no, it's very haphazard. They lazily put in 2 of the Elite Four members to do their little gimmicks, and then they move on. They treat Blueberry Academy almost like an afterthought. I think they just didn't want to linger over Blueberry Academy, and I get the weird suspicion that Blueberry Academy was probably supposed to be a lot longer than this, but I think they know that they're coming up to that time where they have to move on. Plus, we're getting the Gen 10 stuff coming in February, which is in 2 months. We'll get it announced, at least. We're not getting it, but we'll probably get it announced, which means that Pokemon's time is limited and they want to go ahead and move the plot along. So they're gonna try to end Horizons probably before that. So they're definitely gonna get their hustle on. But that being said, if I had to give Blueberry Academy a score, a 5. I'm giving it a 5. It's buns, it's bad. The only reason it doesn't get a lower than a 5, Lico's Hatterene episode and Roy's Crocalor finally evolving into Skeledirge. Those 2 things save it. We get 2 evolutions out of this, which is what the series definitely needed. That's good. And I know that in the next episode we get another evolution, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. So I'm glad to see that Pokemon is actually stepping forward with evolving their Pokemon. The main cast is evolving their Pokemon. We got Tinka all evolving all the way to Tinkaton. Pretty much all of Lico's Pokemon are evolved except for Charchadet, which is fine. Charchadet's the new one. And then Quaxwell, I'm sure, will be evolving at some point. I'm glad they're finally doing this. It's good. It means that their ending teams are going to start looking a little bit better. Will they end up catching any new Pokemon? I kind of wanted Alt to catch a new Pokemon while he was in Blueberry Academy. He only has Dragonite and Sableye, and they can both Mega Evolve. So it's like, okay, whatever. Anyway, that being said, we are done from there. 5 out of 10. Not the best arc, but we do see that there's some cool stuff coming in the future. So, this was a really long review, but I'm glad you guys were able to stick around for it. I will see y'all then, everybody. And sorry about the long delay on Pokemon Horizon reviews. A lot of stuff was cracking off in November and December, so we had to make up for some lost time. Definitely, I'm going to be trying to do more of the paced reviews that I've been doing. But based on how the next episode goes, I think I can review that one as a standalone episode by itself. And then the episode after that, I'll see exactly what's going on there. Because we get some very interesting plot points in that one. So now that I know that, and now that the people are talking about it, I'm definitely going to look into that. But I do apologize for me not reviewing them immediately. But now that I've reviewed the entirety of Blueberry Academy, that essentially means we're basically caught up, with the exception of 1 episode. But hopefully things don't build up the way they do before, and we can go ahead and knock those reviews out one at a time, and we will be back on track. So with that being said, I will see y'all then, everybody. Thank you all so much, and Tyrone TG3 out.